In the last video, I showed you how to load these 8 triangles on from the basic shapes. I'd now like to show how to load up a themed shape. To come away from this screen and clear down everything that I've done, the simplest way is to press the Home key. The message that appears says OK to delete all patterns. It's important to note that this is just talking about the mat that's on screen right now. It's not talking about any of the patterns in your memory. It's almost like clearing down your work table and taking off all of the rubbish that you've got on there and starting afresh. So we can always click OK to that. I'm now back at the choices of pattern or scan, and because again we're loading a pattern, I will choose pattern. The themed shapes are accessible through this icon here with the parcel and the flower. And there are now extra categories that we can choose from. I have 2 pages on here. This may differ with your machine as I explained in the last video. I will choose, let's say, something from the food section. In the food section I have a range of different designs to use, and you can see how some of them have 2 or more colours available. If I choose the donut, we can see that as opposed to the basic shapes, this now gives us the option to just set the height and width initially. And this aspect ratio is always locked because we have 2 parts to this design, so we need to make sure that they will fit. We can click OK, and this will now give us the option to load either the donut itself or the frosting. To choose which, you just tap on the individual piece, and you will also get an indication of the cutting outline on the left hand preview. If I choose the frosting, you can see that it's highlighted the frosting cutting area. I'll choose the donut itself and click OK. I can now choose how many of those I want to load onto the cutting mat. The height and width I've already set, remember. I can apply a seam allowance, I can flip the design, I can rotate it, and I can also apply the draw fill. So it's just a slightly different layout to this screen because we've already made some choices. I will choose set and position that on my cutting mat. To load the next part of that shape, I click add. I'm then back at that donut shape. I select the second part and then click OK. Make any changes here that I have done for the last part as well, and then click set. And that's now positioned both the donut and the frosting on the cutting mat, and I can then position those into separate areas of the cutting mat so that I can cut them from different coloured cardstock. This is very similar for many of the other themed shapes. If I click add again and I'm done with this, I can go back to the pattern library by tapping here, and I can then go back into themed shapes, go into a different category perhaps, let's say this one, and we'll choose the lampshade, set the height. We now have again 2 parts to choose from here. I'll select the first part, the lamp base, set that on my mat. I can move that to where I need it to be, add the next part, and OK, and set, and that's the part of the lampshade that I've now got on there. So as you can see, we can load things from different sections onto the same cutting mat to cut out for one project.